Today in the United States, small political parties have trouble establishing themselves and gaining support due to their obscurity under the two-party system. These parties are the underdogs in America's politics and are often not seriously considered by voters. But small parties are not a new development. They have formed and died throughout the country's history, but a few have managed to firmly root themselves in the American political system. Gaining recognition for a small, obscure political party, such as the Republican Party in the mid-1800s or the Green Party today, is a challenge that is overcome by such methods as gaining attention in the media and electing party members to major offices. The two major parties today in the United States are the Democrats and the Republicans. The Democratic Party has been around since the early 19th century. They tend to have liberal views and support a larger federal government. The Republican Party, often called the Grand Old Party or GOP, usually acts as the opposition to the Democrats. Republicans are generally conservative and support states' rights. While the disagreement between these two parties may seem a staple of our political system, how long have these parties been at odds with each other? Ironically, the Grand Old Party is actually younger than the Democratic Party. In the mid-19th century, after a promising but ultimately short run in the presidency, the Whig Party collapsed. However, in 1854, several Whigs, Democrats, and a few members of various other parties joined together to oppose the Kansas-Nebraska Act. This act decided that the people of Kansas and Nebraska should be able to decide whether to be slave or free states, a policy known as popular sovereignty. This group opposed popular sovereignty because they argued it would throw off the balance of free and slave states. This group met at a political rally in Ripon, Wisconsin, and the Republican Party formed there. Having an issue like slavery to build their platform on helped the Republicans gain a following. The party had a strong appeal to many citizens of the United States, particularly in the rapidly industrializing North. Most northern states stopped relying on slave trade and became more reliant on products and business from factories. This slave-free environment gave rise to a strong abolitionist movement. The party also pushed for free market economics as opposed to slave trade. Republicans believed that the free market was stronger and more American than slavery. Many Southerners thought otherwise. For them, slave trade was their livelihood. Many plantation owners would quickly run out of money without slaves due to the enormous amount of people needed for tending to crops on some plantations. The desire of the Republican Party to replace slavery with a theoretically equal prosperous trade created strong opposition in the South. The Republican Party also made an effort to gain attention in the media. The party often got their name and members of their party in the paper for any and all news pertaining to them. These tactics caught the attention of voters, who began to examine the policies and views of Republicans. This could even lead to new party members. As the Republicans gained followers, people in the media began supporting their party as well. Political cartoons began to appear depicting Republicans or their views. One final and dominant force behind the Republican Party's rise to fame and power was the emergence of a relatable face to represent the party, Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln, who was opposed to the spread of slavery in the territories, joined the party in 1856, only 2 years after the passing of the Kansas-Nebraska Act. One reason why Lincoln attracted many supporters was because of his working man image. The party painted him as a man of the people, one who understood the problems faced by people other than politicians and the upper class. This gave voters the impression that Lincoln was aware of their problems and would work towards solving them. Within only 6 years of their formation, the Republicans' successful quest for support and recognition culminated in the election of the first Republican president of the United States, Abraham Lincoln.
The people are hungry for another party,
says Michael Bertacci, the vice chairman of the Maryland Constitution Party. Today in America, small parties appeal to those who are frustrated with the dominant two parties.
It's got to be that if this is really a country where we believe that government is of the people, by the people, for the people, then we have to live that. And you don't live it by having a top-down structure with people at the top who dictate what policy is, what legislation is crafted and introduced. That's not the way to govern effectively, and that's not the way to govern to meet people's needs.
The only reason I'm running for office is I'm kind of sick and tired of the way things are going, and neither of the two major parties really appealed to me.
It has been over 130 years since there has been a president from a party other than the Republican or Democratic. There are no members in Congress who identify with a third party.
Third parties and independents, in fact, regularly contest our elections despite voting rules that deny their reality,
says John Anderson, a former Republican delegate from Illinois. Even the three most prominent of the third parties, the Libertarian, Constitution, and Green parties, together have less registered voters than the Republican Party alone. While the Democrats and Republicans have tens of millions of voters, even the largest of small parties only have a few 100,000. These parties' obscurity lead to less voters, and less voters lead to more obscurity. But can this vicious cycle be broken? Party leaders think so.
We have a record number of independents in the country, along with new, open media and Supreme Court rulings that make it easier and easier for non-party interests to participate in politics,
says political strategist Mark Penn. According to Republican Dan Nosner,
the next 6 months present the best opportunity they've had in many, many years.
The Republican Party did not take a long time to gain influence, as many small parties today are doing, and it was only 6 years after their formation that they managed to put Lincoln in office. Could today's parties find inspiration in the tactics of the Republican Party? Perhaps looking to the past is the best way for third parties today to oppose the two major parties. The Republican Party rallied on the issue of slavery, a controversial topic at the time. To imitate the Republicans, today's small parties need an issue relevant to the people to create their platform. The Constitution Party has experienced rapid growth in the past few years by supporting the Tea Party movement. However, there is one main problem with latching onto a major issue today. Slavery is by most considered the most important crisis this nation has faced, and led to the bloodiest war in the history of the United States. Prominent issues like oil shortages and climate change are not questions of freedom and constitutional rights. Issues today do not parallel the controversy of a matter like slavery. During the 19th century, the Republican Party also gained a boost from media attention. Similarly, third parties try to gain publicity and attention, but the world of media has evolved beyond pamphlets and newspapers. Today's parties seek attention on the radio, the television, and even the relatively new internet.
So I'm focusing more on using Facebook, advertising online, my website, which I'm trying to update, and other forms of reaching out to people who are more and more spending their time and energy online versus sitting in front of a TV and letting the content come to them.
The Republican Party also benefited from the working man image of Abraham Lincoln. Today, the characters of candidates are just as important. The Republican Party's methods had an extremely positive effect on their emergence as a party. However, some of these methods are outdated. For example, distributing pamphlets is now second to mass media like radio, TV, or the internet. But political ads are still very crucial to campaigns. Also, advertising oneself or a party in any medium is becoming increasingly expensive, and political parties require huge amounts of funding. The Republican Party's surprising rise to prominence set the standard for small parties today. And despite the fact that social conditions are ripe for third parties to blossom, these parties will have to work hard to grow and become influential.
If the message is crafted properly and we do our job in outreach, maybe not this year, maybe not 4 years from now, but in the long haul, I think that the Libertarian Party or even the Green or Constitution parties could grow their numbers, and you could have a very rich, diverse political spectrum.